everybody, and welcome to another edition of Back to Back. I'm your host, Noah Cowan, alongside Alex Kent. We are here to talk about baseball on and off the field. Good to see you as well, Alex. How have you been?
I've been good with college basketball, getting my bracket's going well. I know this is a baseball show, just wanted to throw it out there, but glad to talk about baseball with my good pal Noah. So
he has a 92% bracket. I'm at 28%, so
very similar.
I am still in it, but not as much as he is, so you got to give him that. But anyway, let's go right to baseball with the top of the first. Over the weekend, MLB prospect and Vanderbilt pitcher Jack Leiter, son of former big league pitcher Al Leiter, pitched a no-hitter while striking out 16. In 4 games this season, he's 4-0 with a .45 ERA while striking out 33. Does this game solidify him as the first overall pick in this year's draft? And Alex, will he have a better career than his father's? What do you think?
Well, I think the first question we need to say, will he be the first overall pick? And from those numbers alone, I would say yes. I mean, I saw the footage, and he was dominant. It was just one batter after another. He was taking them down. And he had a good repertoire as well with the off-speed stuff and a nice fastball. And then the second question, will he be better than his father? That's tough to say. I mean, his father, Al, was solid. I mean, in 1996, he was 9th in the Cy Young Award winning, and 1998 with the Mets, he was 6th. And his overall stats were 162 and 132 win-loss record with a 3.80 ERA. So he was very solid. First, Jack needs to get in the league, but if he continues what he's doing now in college, then it's fair to say it's a possibility.
He was at the number 5 slot right now. He's probably at number 1. I mean, 16 strikeouts in 9 innings. You can't top that whatsoever. 15.2 K per 9. That's a stat that stands out to anybody right now in baseball. And 2.2 hits per 9 innings. I mean, nobody can top that at all. Al Leiter, better than average career, I would say. But, you know, stats like this from Jack, I mean, like, people are going to talk about this 20 years from now and say, this guy, we knew from this game that he was going to be a great baseball pitcher.
Yeah, this was one of the highlights of the week that I saw in sports. So, best of luck to Jack, and glad that Al's son is really dominating many years after his retirement. So
it's a great thing to see for sure. And then the last thing in the top of the first, it was reported a few days ago that Mets recently acquired starting pitcher Carlos Carrasco suffered a torn hamstring and will be placed on the IL. He'll likely be out until late April or early May. So, Alex, are you concerned about this injury being a Mets fan?
I mean, as a Mets fan, thank you. It's tough because over the last few years, I would say the last 15 to 20 years, the Mets have had a history of bad contract moves and many injuries as well. I mean, David Wright was the face of the Mets for many years, and then towards the end of his career with them, he was hurt every single year for many games. But I would say with Carrasco, this isn't as serious as what he's dealt with in the past. He's a cancer survivor, so this is obviously not to the same serious level of that. This is more of an affecting the team thing. But I think that we'll be fine without him. I think the Mets will survive. They have a lot of great pieces and rotational depth. I know you're going to go into that as well. But the thing is, I wish Carlos the best recovery because he's a great guy. And as I said with the Indians, it was a feel-good story when he returned from cancer and was an all-star again. So wish him the best.
When he's on the field, you can arguably say he has some of the nastiest stuff in baseball, I would say. But, you know, as tough of a loss it is, I mean, Marcus Stroman, Taijuan Walker, Peterson, Lucchesi, that's pretty good depth right there.
And that's not even including...
Syndergaard's coming back, too. And then you got Jacob DeGrom
DeGrom,
at the top.
yeah. When you got guys like DeGrom...
Those are reliable starters that you can trust. Those guys are going to give you innings. They're going to give you, you know, they're not going to go over 2 or 3 runs per game. They're going to strike people out. Marcus Stroman, great ground ball pitcher. So you still can believe in this team. And you can't forget, too, you know, Lindor and then, you got
Pete Alonso.
Lindor, Pete Alonso.
Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil. The whole team.
You can't forget the Mets offense at all.
It's just with Carrasco more so than anything. It's just concerning the fact that he was traded and then he got hurt a month after the trade. It's just that's what happens with the Mets. It's the most Mets thing to happen. But he'll recover fast, hopefully, and he's a great guy. Cookies, the nickname that he's been given. So the Mets fans, we can't wait for you to return Cookie. So get well soon.
Carlos Carrasco, as a baseball fan, love your stuff. I want to see you back as soon as possible. Best of luck on the recovery. Coming up, me and Alex have always battled it out in baseball debates, but you haven't seen us battle it out in a classic video game. You will not want to miss this. Stay tuned.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community. Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for parents of kids with learning and attention issues, with personalized recommendations, tools, and daily access to experts to help your child thrive. Understood.org.
Hey everybody, we are about to face off in a classic video game you all may know from your childhood. It is Mario Super Sluggers, the classic baseball game. Me and Al are going to face off in it. We have played each other a numerous number of times. Al, this semester, he's done pretty well against me. I'm looking to come back. And the only difference this time around is whoever loses has to do one of the 6 punishments that we wrote down in this little hat. So without further ado, let's figure out what that punishment will be.
Just to throw it out there, I'm 5-0 this semester, so I will like to continue that streak.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. All right, so the punishment, whoever loses has to eat a hard-boiled egg.
And that might not seem like a lot,
And
but
I know how much Al knows that I hate hard-boiled eggs, so let's get to playing. Mario Super Sluggers. All right, my team is stacked, and I believe I'm a threat to Al in this.
oh,
Bowser thought. Bowser
he just
thought.
got his dad out. That's mean. Gold Glover himself, Luigi.
He catches
We're gonna see a lot of that. We're gonna
catches everything.
there. Oh, there's a hit. Get there, Donkey Kong. You're slow. You're
Go,
slow.
go, go.
Get
Extra
there.
base. There's one on to first. Double play.
Throw it.
Go,
throw
go,
it.
go, 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 go.
There's the lead. Oh my.
Woo!
Oh my.
Get out!
Rob
Get out! Get out!
Oh my god. And then Donkey Kong gets a concussion from the fence. That's fun. Fun stuff right there.
Easily. Are
There's
we
another
talking
one.
another dinger?
Luigi's not getting that one.
No way. We're talking 450 on that, folks.
That's a home run. Told you
All right.
home run again.
That was-
I really got some effort in that. Maybe.
That was some good judgment. Wah!
As I say that, I'm gonna take this loss.
Wow.
That's frustrating. Better not be Matt Harvey version 2. And home run! No robbing. No robbing. No robbing. that was a moonshot. Daisy!
World Series didn't work.
Look at this man. Just look at him. Tie game! Unless he robs this! This is the loudest I've gotten. No robbing this! Crocodile Rock, no! Yes! Look at this face! That's what Diddy Kong does! 6-6.
Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3 inning.
And the No! Get out! No, Luigi! No!
Yeah! Let's
Oh,
go!
goodness, I'm on my knees.
Now that is a clutch hitter right there.
Spare
That's
me,
the ball
spare
game.
me.
That is the ball game.
Noah,
Jake,
we gotta do this. This is
very, very good game, sir.
Good friends have to do this even in loss. So we broadcasted your first win, so at least that's something to be happy
Thank
about.
goodness. I had to get it over with this semester. Hopefully there's more on the way. Right now, let's go to Alex's punishment. Wow, what a great game that was, Alex.
Not for me, but it was a fun game nonetheless. You saw my reaction. Sadly, what's gonna happen to me is
So
not
because
worth
Al
it.
doesn't like, so you like hard-boiled eggs, so I decided to go into my cabinet and my fridge and pick out things that Al would like or not like and blend it
Well,
up.
not
So
in this combination, but we'll.
Reese's Puffs, pickle juice, Cheeto Puffs, and hot sauce.
You see my face. This is.
And he has to drink it, and this is the color of what it looks like. And let's pour this bad boy in there.
Oh my.
Very, very nice color.
We have a
so-
garbage next to me. I'm gonna make sure not to get sick because that's not what.
Cheers.
people- Not terrible.
He's going for seconds. He is going for seconds. Wow.
I'm gonna finish this at a later date, but if I have more, my body's not gonna be thankful because it's my birthday.
Now that's a punishment. Coming up, we'll give you the inside scoop on how you can win the fantasy title this year. Stick around.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org. They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, Consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. The pressure's too much. I quit. I get it. I can do better. Just please don't leave.
Don't let your heart quit on you. Get your uncontrolled high blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to the show. With the season approaching, fantasy baseball owners are wondering, how can I prep for the upcoming baseball fantasy season? Well, look no further. It is time for Draft Day Baseball Edition. Wow, we really rock those tuxes, don't we?
No, we look great. It looks really natural as well.
All right, so Alex. So me and Alex will discuss how you can prepare for your fantasy drafts this season, along with some strategies so you can take home some hardware.
And hopefully in the league that we're in together, I'm going to be the one taking that home.
Next, which player, Alex, do you expect to break out this season?
Well, this is someone that I'm sort of I'm disappointed that the Mets had to get rid of him, but Andres Gimenez on the Indians.
Ooh, okay.
He's only 22 years old, and he had a shortened 60-game season with the Mets, and he was really solid. He never was given full time because of Ahmed Rosario, who was also traded to the Indians for Lindor. But last year, he hit .263 with 3 home runs, 12 RBIs, 8 steals, and a .333 on-base percentage. And on paper, that doesn't sound amazing, but just seeing him every game, he was fast, hustled every minute of the game, good locker room presence. So I think with the Indians, finally time to shine on a team that's sort of rebuilding. He's going to do well for you if you draft him. Somewhat late, though.
I mean, he sounds like an on-base machine to me, so I'll definitely have to target him. Watch out for Alec Boehm of the Philadelphia Phillies, their third baseman. 338 in 44 games. It doesn't sound like anything much. However, if you check out his minor league stats in 125 games in 2019, 21 homers, 80 RBIs. Archie Bradley, their recently acquired pitcher, said he has the possibility. He can definitely hit 35 home runs, according to him. So he's really someone that you can really target. I mean, 15.1 ADP doesn't sound like too much. ADP's average draft position, by the way. However, he can be an offensive threat in this Phillies lineup. I can definitely see that. And then also to add Tyler Glasnow of the Tampa Bay Rays. He's their new ace starting pitcher with the Blake Snell trade. He's definitely someone who can stand out 4-0, 1.65 ERA in 2019 in 10 games. That definitely stands out. He's a strikeout pitcher, so definitely target him.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Alec Boehm. Really good stuff I've heard about him, and hearing that from a teammate and Bradley just sounds like an awesome thing. So definitely take a chance on him.
And now sweepers. So Alex, which player is your biggest sweeper this year?
Well, this is someone who's on the Baltimore Orioles, and they've been getting better year by year. And this guy, 2 years ago, Anthony Santander, hit 20 home runs in 2019 with 59 RBIs, and even last year, he had 11 home runs, so if that was a full year, you would think he would hit 25 to 30 maybe even. So he's an outfielder for the Orioles. He's a decent fielder, but he's really good behind the at the plate, not behind the plate. I would say if you take a chance on him as well, maybe get him very late. He's going to produce. I mean, if you're in categories and you get a guy who's not even like Mike Trout or a big name like that hitting 20 home runs, you're going to get your value for the pick. So I would say Anthony Santander from the Baltimore Orioles, go for it. Why not?
Now, let me ask you this. Does the name Nolan Arenado ring a bell to you?
Yes, one of the best fielding third basemen of all time.
He's a big Mets killer also, isn't he?
Every single time he faces them,
recently acquired Cardinals player Nolan Arenado. Top 10 pick last year. Top 10 pick. Only hit .258 last year in 48 games. he has the potential of hitting 35, 100 every single season.
He's done it, yeah.
In
so
a full season. And, obviously he's not in Coors Field. That's a big hitter's ballpark for sure. But St. Louis, that's a change of scenery. He's trying to get to the playoffs, and he wants to eventually get that ring. He's a well-deserving player to get a World Series ring. So he's going to go off. He's getting 35 homers. He's driving in 110 RBIs. He can hit 310 anytime he wants. This might be his MVP season. I can definitely see it.
Well, I think people are really going to look at last year's stats, as you said, and say, you know what? Even though he's Nolan Arenado, we don't want him. I think what you said, why not take Nolan Arenado? He's a guy capable of doing that. The glove, that's the only thing with him. Fantasy really doesn't benefit from good fielder, but
just a heads up, by the way, his ADP, 45.6. That means he's a fifth-round pick.
Take him in the fifth round
right
away.
In the fifth round, you got to take him without a doubt.
Even the third round
That
this
is
year.
a steal. That is a highway robbery right there. Let me tell you that. And that's a wrap on Draft Day Baseball Edition. Coming up next, we will take you around the bases. But this time, we'll become managers and build teams from the ground up. You're watching Back to Back on WTOP.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome to Back-to-Backs Around the Bases. This week, Noah and I will be drafting our 2000s all-time team from a pool of 40 players. So I think it's 12 and 12, so 16 players are going to be left out. And we will select position by position, and no one's going to be left out. And some of the best players of the last 21 years we're going to go from. So you ready, Noah?
I am absolutely ready.
So, due to the fact you beat me in sluggers, I have to give you first pick. That's the only fair thing to do.
Now, you're going to be very surprised with this pick. So, you think it would be, as you see, by the way, here, we have the PED users from
We had to do that, yeah. We got Roger Clemens, Jason Giambi, Barry Bonds, all the guys that were actually found to do stuff.
Barry Bonds being the best player, I'm actually not going to take him.
Well, it's a morality thing, too. The Hall of Fame won't
However,
take him
someone who's had allegations, Albert Pujols, arguably the best first baseman of all time, I will be taking him.
No, that sounds like a fair pick. I mean, if you go through the guy's stats, it's incredible.
The machine.
So I got to go with my first pick, and I actually think that Ken Griffey Jr. has to go first because he had the same stats as all these guys without the roids behind them as well. So I think that Ken Griffey, you can't go wrong. So.
Cannot go wrong with the kid. One of my favorite players growing up, for sure. And now, I'm still going to stick away from PED players here.
We're going to leave them even though they have some of the best stats. We got to leave them out.
We might save the best for last here. But, the best call from the Seattle Mariners broadcaster, Ichiro throwing something out of Star Wars. One of the best lines ever. Ichiro Suzuki will be my second pick.
One of the fastest guys ever. Leadoff hitter for
MVP in his first career season. One of the best to ever do it in the outfield.
And he had 300 hits one year. 300? Yeah.
362.
362.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what it was. For me, another steroid user, Gary Sheffield. Let's go there too. I think I gotta go with this, just because he would be my captain. I'm a Met fan, so if my mom and dad think there's anything wrong with this, I'm sorry. But Derek Jeter.
Wow. Okay.
I know talent-wise, he's not the best guy here, but it's just why not Derek Jeter?
You know, some people think he's overrated. I'm you mad.
One of my friends from home too, he's a Yankee fan. He hates Derek Jeter. That just seems like me with Billy Joel. If you're from Long Island, you gotta love the guy. And I've met Long Islanders who don't. So
now I'm gonna stick towards the Hall of Famers and talk about Vlad Guerrero Jr. I mean, the best DH arguably of the 2000s. He was really
you mean senior?
Vlad Guerrero Sr., not Junior. Junior might be the best DH of the 2020s.
Yes.
But Vlad Guerrero Jr., the best to ever do it in the DH position.
For me, I gotta get some Met love in there wherever Mike Piazza is. He's somewhere on the table. I think
You're not picking another Yankee?
I gotta find him though. Where is Mike Piazza? You know what? We'll go with him after. He's my pick, but I'm gonna take actually Carlos Beltran just because I have to get a Met and some garbage can cheaters. So.
I mean, he was deserving of a ring until we found out that he.
Well, he's fallen everywhere.
He is fallen for sure.
I guess that's deserving, but if you want to make your...
That's how he fell as the Mets manager.
If you want to make your next pick, you're more than good. I'm going to get him.
Absolutely. So, Randy Johnson, I mean, definitely, I have him as a starting pitcher, relief pitcher. I mean, yeah, he was briefly a closer for the Mariners in their playoff run in the 90s. However, him as a starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, I mean, he threw a ball at a bird. I mean, that's crazy to think, but, he actually did it in spring training. But, he has a lot of heat, crazy pitcher. He did so much for the Diamondbacks and was overall one of the best to do it in the 2000s.
Randy Johnson was a 6'10" lefty who scared everyone when they were at the plate. So
the most intimidating pitcher you can ever think of in baseball history.
Speaking of someone who's intimidating and the best closer of all time, I'm going with the Yankees team. What's going on? Mariano Rivera.
You're taking my picks.
I mean, you got to go with the greatest closer of all time.
Wow.
There's Piazza, once we find him, he's on the team, so I have some Mets representation, but we got to find the man first.
Now, I'm actually looking at the board. You might take Pedro Martinez now, because that's who I was definitely going to pick over Randy, but I totally forgot about that, so I'm giving that pick to you. You know what? I'm in a stump, and I don't know why.
There's so many talented faces here, that's why.
There's so many to choose from. I'm going to do Chipper Jones. Larry, Mets killer. I got to do that to you, Al. He was, that 2006 run that they had against the Mets and, some other playoff matchups over the years. He was a big Mets killer, one of the best Braves to ever do it. Even at the corner, Chipper Larry Jones.
He even named his daughter Shea after the Mets' old stadium, Shea Stadium, because sort of a disrespect, but also respect towards the Mets at the same time.
Fun fact, Freddie Freeman saved him from a blizzard a couple years ago.
My next pick seems like it has to happen. Same last name as me, Jeff Kent.
Jeff Kent, okay. So you guys aren't related, just to be sure.
No, we are not, and I'm not related to Superman. I'm not Clark Kent's son either, so... Jeff Kent was really good, still not in the Hall of Fame, but there's a lot of faces here.
Jeff Kent should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he's one of the best second basemen to ever do it. Top 10, definitely. Wow, we have a lot to choose from.
And just remember, Mike Piazza's in spirit there, so if we don't find him, he's there. He's invisible, that's what Mike Piazza is.
Shortstop, second base, huh? Wow. Yeah, you took that for, you took Derek Jeter for me. That's disappointing.
Hanley Ramirez was not too shabby, so.
You know what? Adrian Beltre. I know that he was really big for the Rangers in the 2010s. However, him on the Dodgers and the Red Sox and the Mariners briefly in the 2000s, he was still really good. Over 200 home runs. I mean, you can't beat that.
For me, I'm actually going to go into the steroids pool for my third baseman.
Oh, okay.
Well,
so
I'm going to allow
utility.
I'm going to allow that. That's okay. Allow that. We have a lot of flexibility here. I'm going to go with A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, one of the best players of the last 25, 30 years of all time, but the steroids thing really brings him down.
Your team's looking scary, Al.
I have a lot of Yankees.
It's basically the 2014 if you're really seeing it.
Yeah. And I moved A-Rod to third, so Jeter's happy. But no, who do you got?
Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones, really scary player for the Braves once again.
So you're the
Shout
Braves
out to the Braves fans out
there.
You're
the Braves team, and I'm the Yankees.
Early 2000s Atlanta Braves out here. Big defender, scary guy, hit a lot of homers. Big guy with dingers. Got to pick Andrew Jones.
I need another outfielder, so I'm going to go with I think I got to go with Manny Ramirez, one of the best hitters on the Red Sox team when they won the World Series.
Okay.
I think even though steroids, accusations, that's steroids equal home runs. I hate to say it, but if I'm making an all-time team, I want to win. I want to win with these guys.
Okay, very, very good. I'm actually going to go for a relief pitcher, so I'm going to do the pitcher who has the second most saves in baseball history, Trevor Hoffman.
Right behind Mariano.
One of the best Padres to ever do it. 602 saves, I want to say. So, if there's anyone I can rely on, it's Trevor Hoffman. He's going to close it out for me.
This is stunning that he's still here. Miguel Cabrera, if you mind handing him over.
Oh, of course.
How is he? You got Albert Pujols first overall, so it makes sense. But Miggy, Triple Crown winner.
Miggy from his Florida days with the Marlins, yeah.
Well, that's true, too. When he won the World Series when he was like a rookie.
When he was like 20 years old, yeah.
And then he moved to the Tigers and one of the best hitters of his generation. So my team's looking good. Yours is as well. We got a few more picks, then we're finished. But
I'll definitely give you the slight edge on that. I'm going to go for a catcher, Joe Mauer. Probably one of my favorite 2000s players, to be honest with you. 2009 MVP. He was a great Gold Glove defender. Always got on base.
And he was on the cover of the MLB The Show games for a few years in a row.
I don't know if he's Hall of Fame bound. He might be. However, he was just really a respectable player in baseball. So, just got to give it to him.
I got a few more guys. I think I might get... You didn't get Pedro, right? Yeah,
I did not get Pedro.
I have to. I think...
As much as I don't like the Red Sox, you got to respect Pedro. He was a great pitcher.
Other than throwing down Don Zimmer.
That was disappointing to watch.
Well, that was just a bad moment in the game, but still amazing player. That was a
Now, I have
negative moment.
outfield, shortstop, and second base. My infield isn't looking so hot, other than Pujols and Chipper Jones, obviously. The only shortstop that really is Hanley. Henman, he was great with the Florida Marlins. He was a young blood on the team. Up-and-coming star, so Hanley Ramirez. Book it.
I'm going to have to go with my last two guys. I'm going to get one of... Oh, my goodness. We just forgot about him.
Oh,
how much... Barry Bonds in utility. The home run leader, although Hank Aaron to many remains the home run king, Barry Bonds still has the most home runs in the history of baseball. So,
just so you guys know, I didn't take one steroid user yet.
That's me. I'm the one that's immoralizing this, but...
He's the guilty guy, not me.
Take one. Go ahead.
I'm a very innocent man. Shoot, I just dropped the tape. Second base, Chase Utley.
Met killer, Ruben
Once
Tejada.
again, another Met killer. He was big for the 2008 Phillies. Great on-base machine. Sneaky pop, too. Very sneaky pop, so you got to give him that.
My last pick, then Noah's last pick. So I'm going to have to go with, once again, David Ortiz. So I'm really fine with winning games if it means some of these accusations are true. Because David Ortiz, big
You have a
Poppy.
catcher left also, too.
I got Piazza. Remember, we just got to find him. Yeah, if you want to get your last guy, though, that's fine.
Definitely. So I have one more outfield spot. And, looking at this board, we have Gary Sheffield, Lance Berkman, and you know what? That is actually it. So it's between Gary Sheffield and Lance Berkman.
Roids versus no roid. That's what the question is.
Personally, Gary Sheffield, I like him. He has the accusations. Let's do Lance Berkman.
Here's the Sheffield batting stats right there.
Lance Berkman, great Astro. Was on the Yankees for half a season. He did okay. Was great for the Cardinals in their 2011 run. Nice player, too. Lance Berkman.
Here's our
Hall
two
Famer?
boards.
I think possible.
Maybe. That's something we'll figure out. But here are our two boards. Mike Piazza's the only one missing. Somehow he got lost in the flood or whatever the hell happened.
Mike Piazza, we will find you. You should be on this board.
But here's our boards. Here's our all-time teams. Hopefully everyone enjoyed back-to-back. This was a new segment.
Tweet at us at back-to-back. Which team do you think is better, mine or Al's? But that just wraps it up here at back-to-back. I'm Noah Cowan alongside Alex Kent. Next week, opening day preview. Stay tuned. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.